Hello, class. I'm here to talk about my mini lesson plan of poetry. I chose a specific poem, which was a limerick, and I'm going to teach this to a third grade classroom. And the lesson is supposed to be about 10 to 15 minutes long, and I figured that this was. So, some of the materials that you need would be just regular pencil for them to write, colored paper, pencil, pen, colored pencils, markers, crayons, glue, and scissors, because they're going to write their poem and then they'll decorate it at the end. So, my objectives for the students is that students will be able to rhyme. They will understand what a limerick is. So, a limerick is basically just a poem and it has two lines that rhyme, then another line that doesn't rhyme, and then another line that rhymes with the first two. And so the pattern is just like an A, pattern. So they'll learn about that. Students will know the first, second, and fifth line will rhyme. So that's the A, pattern. And then I'll just give like a little bit of background information about it, and a common place that they would be able to see these limericks would be in like nursery rhymes and stuff. And so I looked up some nursery rhymes that were limericks, and some that I was familiar with was like Little Miss Muffet, and I was also familiar with Three Blind Mice and Hickory Dickory Dock. So those are all limericks that they also, I'm hoping, are familiar with. So then my vocabulary would obviously, one, be what a limerick is, and then two, the part of like the rhyming stuff, they need to know what a suffix is, which is like just like the ending part of a word, because that helps them rhyme. And then we'll also be working on what types of words rhyme with what and what endings can rhyme with each other and stuff like that. But they should already have some background knowledge about that. So then I chose my standards, and my standards were knowing how to apply grade level phonics and word analysis and decoding words. And then I also chose like how they write and develop and make sure that they have like organized thoughts throughout their poem. So next I'll go into my guided practice. So this is exactly what I'll be having the students do. First, I'll be talking to the students about nursery rhymes that they may have heard as a little kid. So it'll just be mostly like class discussions, and that'll help me kind of get a feel of what they already know, which is also nice. Then I will read them three of my favorite nursery rhymes that I remember as a little kid. So, like I said before, I would talk about the Three Blind Mice and read that to them and show them an example and read it on the board. And then I would do Tick-Taw, Hickory Dickory Dock. I would read that and pull it up on the board. And so I'd read all three of those, which they're fairly short, so that will also keep under my time limit between 10 and 15 minutes. Then I will talk to them about what types of things stood out to them as I was reading the poems to them, what they noticed. Maybe they'll talk about the animals are the same or something, but then I'll make it clear to them what stands out to me is the types of lines that rhyme and stuff, and so then I'll go into talking about that, which then that leads into the ABA pattern, and it will just go into all sorts of that, and I'll talk about all the different types of patterns you can have and how that's not the only one that you can have. You can also have ABAB rhymes and all sorts of things like that, but a limerick is specifically AABBA. Next, we'll talk about the endings again and what types of words rhyme and what endings need to match with each other. And then, as a class, we will write one together. I will pick the topic and everything, and I will have the class help me write my own limerick. That way they know exactly what I'm looking for. That way I can send them off and do it on their own after that. And then once I'm done explaining it to them, I'll send them off on their own and they will write theirs. And once they're done writing theirs, they will have to come up to me and I'll have to check it to make sure that the lines rhyme and that their spelling is correct and make sure they have good penmanship. And then once they're done, I'll allow them to like color it and decorate it and put it on a new piece of paper so they can color their pictures and stuff that hopefully relate to the poem that they just wrote. So my independent practice is that they'll write the poem on their own. They will have to figure out which lines rhyme. And then I have to give them the okay to decorate it because decorating it isn't the most important part. That's just more fun for them and it looks nicer hanging in the classroom. So some questions I will ask my students as they are going through this is what types of words rhyme, what is suffixes, what a limerick is, stuff like that. And so overall, I will assess my students on if they have the correct rhyming words in the right place. I'll make sure that their poem has some type of purpose and linking things back to the objectives. I need to make sure that each student knows different rhyming patterns. They need to review their rhyming words and they have to know what the specific poem that they just wrote was. So overall, I think that this is a fairly fun lesson, something that you can get done fairly quick. It doesn't take that long. And I mean, third grade might be a little old for this. You could do it for younger kids too, but I think that still third graders would really enjoy this type of lesson. And I think it's just a great way to get kids interested in poetry because I know sometimes that's a hard subject for kids to enjoy. I mean, that's one thing I struggled with. So I hope you enjoyed my video and my lesson plan, and thank you so much for listening.